Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today I'm asking, what is preventing you from finding love? In the centre, so what is stopping you from finding a loving partnership? In the centre we have Seven of Swords. This is a card of deceit and sneaky behaviour, sneaking around, keeping secrets, keeping things hidden. I want to say secrets and lies. So it could be that you have purposely been seeing somebody or keeping your love life a secret, or even pretending that you haven't got one. I'm also feeling now that maybe in the past you've got tangled up with people who are already attached, and so that those relationships can't ever develop. And potentially that is something that might be a pattern that you've got into, of finding people that you actually can't have a relationship with. And if that's the case, we will unpick that a little bit further to find out why you would be putting yourself through that. So it's a slightly uncomfortable start, I would say, to this reading. Why have you not allowed love in? Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to get another clarifier for that card. But first of all, I'm just going to look at what is crossing it. And what is crossing the Seven of Swords, interestingly, is the Six of Swords. And, you know, when you read cards in progression or in order, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, it generally means moving forward. But this is backwards. This is a 7 being crossed by a 6. So it's a lack of movement going forward. There is no forward movement. And the Six of Swords is generally a positive card. It talks about moving from a difficult time or period in your life into a more positive one. But in this case, it's a backward step. So the move, it's like you're going backwards. God, I'm sorry to say that. You're slowing yourself down somehow. And if it's not you that's slowing yourself down, then it's a situation that can't progress. But then in a way that is you slowing yourself down because you're choosing a situation that can't progress. That's sort of what it feels like. But I am going to get a clarifier here. What is preventing love from coming in? We've got a Seven of Swords and a Six of Swords. So what's the problem here? Can we have a clarifier to find out what the problem is? Well, whatever the problem is, it's coming to an end. You may well feel like you've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's interesting, I said worlds, plural. Now that's ridiculous, seeing as there is only one world. Now I'm feeling like I want to say the underworld. There's something here about multiple problems that you've been shouldering. And I also want to say are now shelving. So if there have been situations or portions of your life that you've had to keep secret or keep separate, or pieces of your life that you don't display for other people to see, underground, sort of, there's an underground energy here, pretending, you know, it could be the situation, it could be the case where perhaps you've got a group of girlfriends and you go out often with them and you pretend like you're not seeing anyone, but maybe you're seeing multiple people on the quiet that you're not you're not telling other people about, mostly because I think your friends would not approve of who you are choosing to spend your time with. They're not good enough. And the fact that I'm saying there's an underground vibe here, like the underworld. I mean, you wouldn't want to go out with somebody who's from the underworld. That would be awful. You know, it's that sort of very, very... I don't know if I want to use the word particularly, but I'm going to karmic energy. You've been dallying with the wrong types of people. That's what it feels like. But I can tell you the good news is that is coming to an end. And I want to say this sort of unsavoury situation is ending. So if you've got into, and and it's the nature of the people you've been sort of having dalliances with is what is preventing any forward movement into a real love connection, because you've been stuck in a cycle of people who don't treat you very well. That's what I feel like anyway. People who don't treat you well. And you know what, it might be, you might think to yourself, well, they don't treat me that badly. They just don't want to have a relationship with me. Well, that might be your view, but I suspect the fact that you're having to keep all this secret means that you actually know that the other people in your life would not agree. The other people in your life who care about your welfare would tell you straight away that you are messing with the wrong people or the wrong person or the wrong types of people. Perhaps you keep going for the wrong type of person. That is ending though. That is great news. I would quite like to know, why is that ending? Why is this energy ending? Oh, I've got too many cards there, but I will take that Hermit. I think you've been in a period of contemplation. You've been working this out gradually. It might be, do you know what I want to say? I feel like saying that this sort of situation that I don't think is good enough, you might have been tolerating because it's some sort of stress reliever for you. Maybe you have a very, very stressful job, or perhaps you've been through a very stressful period in your life and actually you've just gone back to what is familiar, even though you know it's not good for you. Well, that is coming to an end because now you know it's no good for you. You've had a period of time on your own contemplating your life. And like I say, I do believe you've already known that this situation was not good for you, but there's knowing it and then there's actually accepting it. They're two different things. So perhaps you're just coming into a period of acceptance and understanding, and you are just recognizing that you are worth more than that. And so this period is coming to an end. And I can definitely see that is the case, because what is crowning the situation is the Empress. So if up until this point you'd been entertaining unsavory characters or people who just aren't good enough for you, that's changing, because suddenly, and it does feel like it's sudden, I think this has been a very slow, gradual process, but I also think that you might not have realised you've been going through this process, and this might feel a bit sudden to you. Like all of a sudden you think, no, they're not good enough for me. I deserve better. And it might sort of bring you up short a little bit. You might feel a little bit like, well, where did that come from? It's true, but I didn't know I thought that. And finally sitting in your own power, understanding your own wants and desires, and not bending and giving in to somebody else who just wants to use you as a stopgap. I feel like that is pretty much it, that you've been allowing yourself to be used as a stopgap for somebody else who never had full, strong intentions to, to be in a real relationship with you. And that's changing, thank goodness. You've developed a real understanding of what it is you want. I think at the heart of the situation, part of the reason, and I know I said this already about you might have been going back to a situation you felt you were comfortable with. You might be comfortable in being treated not very well, which is not good. And so that is a pattern that needs breaking. But also, I think you've had enough of it. You do know what you're worth. You do know what you deserve. And you do know what you want. And those three thoughts are suddenly sort of colliding together and giving you wisdom and a better sense of your own self-worth and self-importance. I know self-importance is generally is seen to be a bad thing. But for you, if you've been somebody who's used to bad treatment by other people, regardless of whether or not you know that it's right or wrong, if you are familiar with it, you will still go back to it. But I think something has happened recently, and I actually do think it might just be a case of time. There's been enough time for you to recognise that you deserve more. And I know it's no good other people telling you you deserve more. You have to know it for yourself. And finally, I believe you do. So that phase is ended. If it's not actually ended, it's ending. 10 of Wands is 10 weeks. So if you're not quite in your Empress energy yet, you soon will be. Oh, and also, actually, this is the Virgo card. So if you're not in it yet, you will be by September, by the end of August. By the time we hit, I think something fairly fundamental is happening. Some shift is happening in Leo season. I have said this in a previous video, if you want to watch it. Something fundamental is shifting in Leo season. And I think by the time we get to Virgo season, you will be feeling much more settled in your new, I am worth it. I am worth everything, actually. I deserve to have somebody nice love me. I think you will be embodying that energy more fully when we get to Virgo season. You're sort of in transition now during Leo season. But this is great news. What's underneath or hidden from other people and often from yourself, we have here the 8 of Cups. This is a card of retreat. It's a card of almost, and I really felt like crying just then, giving up. And I'm getting a chill all over, which means that that's a true feeling. Feelings of despair. Despairing that you're never going to find someone. So I suspect that the people who know you really well will know this is how you feel. I suspect the rest of the world wouldn't have a clue. But there is despair underpinning this reading. But I took some extra clarifiers, and I've got a happiness card. And I've got a message. So this could be about a child. It could be good news. In fact, it will be good news because we've got the happiness card here. I'm just not quite clear as to how these 3 cards are linking together. I know this is a card of despair, but on the flip side, it's almost like flipping a coin. On the flip side of despair is joy, and I think that's what these clarifying cards are talking about here. It does not take much to shift from despair to joy. It's sort of hinging on a young energy. I think it means that you are actually still young. And so even if you're despairing, you've got plenty of time. You might not feel like you've got much time, but you still have time. You have youth on your side. Yeah. So if you have been despairing, that's going to change. You're young enough to still go out there and have fun. And I think that is actually what you're going to be doing. In the past position, it looks to me like somebody has offered you their cup of love in the past. At least one person, probably several, but you didn't take it. Because maybe they weren't interesting to you. Maybe they weren't going to be enough for you. Perhaps you tried all sorts of different types of people and you can't make it work with anybody. You actually are waiting for the real deal, which I agree with entirely. It's just that the business of spending time with people who are not good for you has been in the past delaying forward motion for a good offer. You've had a good offer in the past that you have declined. I don't know how long ago that is. That doesn't feel that long ago to me. Feels like you might have had dealings with somebody that would have been more genuine. But it wasn't quite right for you. Why wasn't it right for you if somebody was making a genuine offer? What was wrong with it? What was wrong with it? Well, that's interesting. You've definitely had more than one offer in the past. This is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They're both knights, so they're young men. I would say probably age-wise 30s. Or potentially, if you're much older than that, these men might be a bit younger than you. They've made offers. This person made an offer, but perhaps he was too late or he was too slow about it, because this is clarifying this. I don't know. You've definitely had offers though, but they're not offers that you've wanted. So if you've turned down 2 knights in the past for something else, what are you waiting for? Well, I can tell you, you're waiting for the real deal. This is my twin flame card in my deck. This is the card I use as a twin flame card. And that talks of a really profound soul connection. So it could be that in the past there have been men who have been okay, but you just haven't felt it. You just haven't felt it the way you want. It hasn't been enough for you. Maybe you're used, and I wonder if perhaps you're used to being on your own. And so anything less than earth shaking is not good enough for you. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. But earth shaking is in the future. So that's good. It's great. You're getting earth shaking. Yeah. Earth shaking. It's an earth shaking, profound soul connection. Nothing less than you deserve. I firmly believe that you do deserve it. You've waited a long time for it. And it is coming. This is the home, not the home position. This is you. And you are feeling defeated. Like, what did I say before? You were in despair. And this does feel a bit like that. But also this is an ending. So you've got 2 10s. So you're at the end of one phase and at the start of another. So the business of picking up again with the wrong person is over. That's done. And you're in the new phase now. This is you in a new phase. You've killed off that bad energy. I wanted to say bad juju. I don't even really know what juju is. I think it's sort of energy. So you've killed off the bad energy and you are waiting fairly patiently, I would say, for a new beginning. Also, just to tell you, that's 10 days. So if you're impatient, that might be good to know. In the home environment, we have a stable man. This is also Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. This is older though. In the home environment, maybe there's somebody you rely on, somebody who feels quite fatherly, somebody who maybe you really need somebody to look after you for a bit. Perhaps that's maybe that's the shift that's happened. That actually, with these sort of negative, underhand, underworld energies that you've been dealing with in the past that haven't been good enough for you, maybe now that you're in your own power and knowing what you are worth and what you deserve, I wonder if actually perhaps now you would be far more inclined to find somebody who's going to look after you a bit. I think you, in a way, I think you need that to match your energy, because you're really fabulous now. If not right this minute, you're soon going to be extremely fabulous. And so you do need a proper grown-up man who's got some collateral behind him. He, at the very least, needs to have a decent job and some sort of home in order to match your energy. You know, anything less than that's not going to work anymore. And that's, I think, partly why you've been turning down these knights. Because they haven't been enough. You can see the difference here. The knight, it turns into or grows into the king. But a knight who's just, and especially the Knight of Cups, who's only got love to offer, that's not good enough for you anymore. You actually need something more solid, some stability, something like, you know, like a home. You're probably ready to start a family, I should think. And so you're actually now and actually thinking about it, the Empress can represent pregnancy. So if you're in this energy, you actually need a fully grown man now at home, and that is probably, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. I don't know why I said the word probably. That's probably, why did I say probably? Because I actually don't know. Ah, there we are. That's why. That is the grown-up happy ever after, the Ten of Pentacles. So there's no probably about it. You want a nice home, a nice husband who earns a decent living, who can support you and look after you. And if you want to stop work and have children, then he will be happy to support you. That's what you want. You want a supportive, stable, financially secure man. And that, yeah, why is that in the home position then? Oh, and a home. Yeah, that's what you're after. That's what you really want. Of course, that is the home position because that's what you're aiming for. You actually want to build a home with somebody. Oh, that's nice. This is a much better card than the Ten of Cups, because the Ten of Cups is a little bit like living on fresh air, and love is all you need. Love isn't all you need at all. You need something much more stable than that. And so that's really nice. This is knowing who it is and what it is you want and accepting nothing less. It feels a little bit to me like you might have suddenly grown up. You know, this sort of feeling where when you're a teenager you go for bad boys, that sort of thing. It feels to me like you might have grown out of that. And it feels a little bit like that might have been all of a sudden. It hasn't been all of a sudden. It's been quite a long, slow, extended process. But it feels like you might have got to this realisation all of a sudden. The hopes and fears position. Well, you are hoping for a happy ending and to have everything you want, because this is a wishes coming true card. And I think you will be getting your wishes coming true. The thing is this, even if this sort of lifestyle that you want does not manifest itself immediately, just knowing what you want is enough to start the process of finding that type of person, because it means you'll be leaving the sneaky, underhand, not good enough types of people behind, which means you're open. You have to have a period of time where you're not seeing anyone, because if you can't separate yourself from the people who aren't good enough, you cannot open yourself up to finding the happy ever after. So even if this sort of situation, you find some sort of strange comfort in the fact that you can sort of, get together with this unsuitable bloke whenever you feel like, you must actively try and stop that in order to bring this situation about. Because if you're seeing him, you're not going to meet him. And it's as stark as that. So in a way, I don't want you to feel like I'm telling you off, but in a way you have to, I think you're ready to do it. I think you know what you want, but you have to consciously make a decision to leave this sort of sneaky, dirty, underhand, undesirable, secret dalliance or situationship or flirtation behind. You are leaving it behind, but you have to choose to do it. Otherwise, your wishes can't come true. They can't, because if you're dealing with all of that negative energy, how can you get yourself into the positive mindset of getting your wishes coming true? You can't do it. Now, the outcome card. This is very fast moving energy. So this is now our third night. You've certainly had some offers. And it could be that one of them tries to offer you something a bit more tangible, maybe. I don't think so, really. I think you'd see through it in any case. But we did get an extra card to clarify, and that card is the Page of Cups, which is an apology. Can also be a love letter. Now, this is the second page we've got. We had one for the underneath energy as well. Pages is children. So it could be that maybe, this, I'm just thinking of this a different way around. This could be an air sign man. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. It could be an air sign man who has a child. That might be who's coming in. An air sign man who has a child. I think I'll just take some more cards. What else do we need to know? This is good though. This, you've got an end to. Ooh, we've got the moon. I don't know about you, but I felt like the full moon on last weekend, a week ago, had a big effect on me. So possibly this person might come in within the next moon cycle. So before the next full moon. That could be a bit of a timing card. The moon card is actually Cancer, but for me as well, it often makes me think of Pisces. So if it's not an air sign man who has a child, it could be a Cancer or a Pisces man who has a child. Yeah. Water sign man. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So if this is not an air sign man coming in, it could be a water sign man coming in who has a child. Or it could be a man coming in who perhaps you already know, who has not told you how he feels. Because the King of Cups is a man who's not very good at knowing his feelings or talking about his feelings or even acting on his feelings. Whereas the Knight of Swords will be rushing in regardless. So potentially it could be a man who you wouldn't typically expect to make a move, who might throw caution to the wind and just start rushing in. That'd be quite good. But I do think they come with a child, and this card has slid out. They're single though. I almost wonder if you know this person or you know of them. I think that might be it. If you don't know this person who has a child, who is newly single, then you know of them, or one of your friends might know them, or maybe somebody's going to set you up with them. It could be somebody who one of your friends has had in mind for you for a while, but they maybe have not been single. This person is very much single now. That feels quite new. Quite newly single. Yeah. Well, that's good. You don't want to get tangled up with somebody who's attached. That's for sure. Otherwise, we're back to this starting situation. Okay. Wow. So this is unbelievable. We now have the fourth knight. So we have got 4 men on the table. 4 knights, 2 kings on the table. You are not short of offers. You might have actually been interacting with quite a lot of different men. Maybe you've been doing some online dating or something. It's like you're surrounded by them. That's what it feels like. But this one is a bit more of a fun energy. This one might just be after sex, perhaps. But why has he come in? He's come in with the Sword of Truth. I feel like this person may have wanted to approach you before in the past and they haven't done it. This is quite a sort of reckless, well, not as fast moving as the Knight of Swords, but still a bit reckless. Yeah, I feel like he might have wanted to approach you in the past. And then perhaps, you know, maybe life moved on and he met somebody else and he had a child with them and it hasn't worked out and he's now single. This feels to me like somebody who's coming back around. You might not know it's coming back around because you might not know that he wanted to approach you in the past. But I think you might find out that actually somebody might have had his eye on you a long time ago or a while ago. And anyway, if that is the case, this is a very clear, he'll make it very clear. He's going to make it very clear what he wants. This man will tell you what he wants. So in the past, he might not have been able to tell you what he wants. He's going to be able to now. He's going to, somehow or other, he's managed to change. I don't know. You know how in marriages, some people are different than when they're single? I think there's been the fact that he's now single has changed him quite a lot. He's going to be bolder, I think, now than he might have been when he was younger. I just want to see if there's anything else. Yeah. So these energies are changing. This is either you or him, and you might both have been encompassing having the same energy, and the energy is of not being able to get what you want, or not finding what you want, or not actually feeling like you've got anything to choose from. You might live in a place where there aren't very many available men, actually, is what it feels like to me. And that you might have tried going out with lots of different types of people and you can't get anywhere. That's what that feels like. And you're a bit beaten down by it and fed up with it. But don't forget, we've got the 10 here of wands. So that is ending. That stage is over. And the other card that came with that was the Chariot. So that is the card of motion and getting ready for movement. It's not actual movement, but it's as close to moving forward as you can get without actually moving. So really, the whole crux of this situation is that if you want to bring in a proper, stable love connection with a real person to have a happy family life with, if you want that, then you have got to leave all these sneaky energies behind you in the past in order to get this ball moving, in order to move things forward. I think you've known that for a long time. The Chariot is always a sort of guided energy. I think you've known that for a long time, that you have to change the way you've been operating. Yeah, you might be a Cancer, actually. I don't think there's any more cards to come. Oh, just as I said that. Yeah, new love. New love, thank goodness. New true love is coming. You have to make those changes, though, to bring the new true love connection in. I think I'm going to stop there. So at the start of the reading, I said, what is preventing you from finding a true love connection? And what's been preventing you is dealing with the wrong people. So you need to leave those people who are not good for you in the past. Get yourself on a nice, even keel again. Get back into your own powerful feminine energy. You'll know when you're in that energy, because I think you're going to start getting a lot of compliments. You'll be looking very good. You'll be feeling good and looking good, and it will show. And that's when you're going to have a new true love connection come in. Wow. I hope this has been helpful. This is the Timeless Tarot. I'm saying goodbye.